What if the key to understanding yourself was to let go of everything you think you know? This might sound strange, but it's a powerful idea that could change how you see yourself and the world around you. We're often told that to know ourselves better, we need to learn more, gather more information, and add to our knowledge. But what if the opposite were true? What if true self-knowledge came from emptying ourselves instead of filling ourselves up? This concept of becoming empty to gain true self-knowledge is both simple and profound. It challenges our usual way of thinking and offers a fresh perspective on personal growth. In our fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and ideas. We collect them like souvenirs, filling our minds with an ever-growing collection of thoughts and beliefs. But have you ever stopped to consider how all this mental clutter might be clouding your view of yourself and the world? Think about your mind as a room. Over time, this room gets filled with furniture, decorations, and all sorts of objects. These represent your thoughts, beliefs, and ideas about yourself and the world. At first, adding these things might make the room feel more comfortable and familiar. But as time goes on, the room becomes so cluttered that it's hard to move around freely. You can't see the walls or the floor anymore. You've lost sight of the room's true shape and size. This is what happens to our minds. We fill them with so many ideas and beliefs that we lose sight of our true selves. We become trapped in a maze of our own making, unable to see clearly or think freely. This is where the concept of emptiness comes in. It's not about making your mind blank or stopping all thought. Instead, it's about creating space for clarity, for new insights, and for a deeper understanding of who you really are. When we talk about emptying ourselves, we're talking about letting go of the labels and definitions we've collected over time. Think about all the ways you define yourself. You might think of yourself as smart or not smart enough, as successful or struggling, as confident or insecure. These labels might be based on your job, your relationships, your achievements, or your failures. But are these labels really you? Or are they just ideas you've picked up along the way? Letting go of these labels can be scary. After all, they've been part of how you see yourself for a long time. But holding on to them limits you. It keeps you stuck in one version of yourself, unable to grow or change. By letting go of these definitions, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You give yourself the freedom to be more than what you've always thought you were. This process of emptying yourself is also about learning to be comfortable with not knowing. We often feel pressured to have all the answers, to be certain about everything in our lives. But what if not knowing was actually a good thing? What if uncertainty was a path to growth? When you're empty of preconceived notions and rigid beliefs, you become open to new ideas and experiences. You can approach life with curiosity instead of certainty. This doesn't mean you become indecisive or wishy-washy. Instead, you become flexible and adaptable. You can consider different perspectives without feeling threatened. You can change your mind without feeling like you've lost part of yourself. One of the most powerful aspects of emptying yourself is learning to quiet the inner noise. Our minds are often buzzing with thoughts, worries about the future, regrets about the past, judgments about the present. This constant mental chatter can drown out our deeper wisdom and intuition. By practicing mental silence, we can tap into a deeper level of understanding. This doesn't mean you have to sit in meditation for hours every day, although that can certainly help. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to just be, without trying to achieve anything, without trying to figure anything out. Just being present with whatever is happening in the moment. As you practice this kind of mental quietness, you might start to notice something interesting. You begin to see the world more clearly, without the filters of your preconceptions and judgments. It's like wiping a dirty window. Suddenly, everything looks clearer and brighter. This clearer perception extends to how you see yourself as well. Without the constant stream of self-judgments and comparisons, you can start to see yourself more objectively. You might notice qualities about yourself that you've never seen before, both positive and negative. But instead of judging these qualities, you can simply observe them with curiosity and compassion. One of the most liberating aspects of emptying yourself is the emotional freedom it brings. We all carry emotional baggage, old hurts, resentments, fears, and regrets. These emotions can weigh us down, coloring our perceptions and influencing our actions in ways we might not even realize. As you practice emptying yourself, you create space to acknowledge these emotions without being controlled by them. You can look at your anger, your sadness, your fear, and recognize them for what they are, temporary experiences that don't define you. This doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring your emotions. Instead, it means learning to experience them fully without attaching to them or letting them drive your behavior. This emotional lightness brings a new flexibility to your thoughts and actions. You're no longer reacting based on old patterns or unresolved issues. Instead, you can respond to each situation freshly, based on what's actually happening, rather than what you fear might happen or what happened in the past. So how do you actually practice this process of emptying yourself? It's not something that happens overnight, but there are simple exercises you can start with. One approach is to practice questioning your thoughts and beliefs. When you notice yourself having a strong reaction to something, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? How do I know it's true? Another practice is to regularly take time to sit quietly and observe your thoughts without engaging with them. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky of your mind. You don't need to grab onto them or push them away. Just let them pass by. You can also practice letting go of labels throughout your day. When you catch yourself defining yourself or others, gently remind yourself that these labels are just ideas, not absolute truths. Try to see beyond the label to the actual person or situation. Incorporating this approach into daily life takes practice and patience. You might find it helpful to set aside a specific time each day for these practices, even if it's just for a few minutes. Over time, you may notice that this way of thinking starts to seep into other parts of your day. As you continue this practice of emptying yourself, you might notice something paradoxical happening. As you let go of all the ideas and beliefs you've been clinging to, you may find that your experience of life becomes richer and fuller. Without the constant filter of your preconceptions, you can engage more directly with the world around you. You might find that your relationships deepen. When you're not constantly projecting your own ideas and expectations onto others, you can see them more clearly for who they really are. You can listen more deeply and communicate more authentically. Your experience of the world around you might also change. Colors might seem brighter, food might taste better, music might sound richer. This isn't because the world has changed, but because you're experiencing it more directly, without the dulling effect of your habitual thoughts and judgments. This emptiness also creates space for creativity and inspiration. When your mind isn't cluttered with preconceived ideas about what you can or can't do, what is or isn't possible, you open yourself up to new ideas and possibilities. You might find yourself coming up with creative solutions to problems or exploring new interests you never considered before. It's important to remember that this journey of emptying yourself is ongoing. It's not about reaching a final state of perfect emptiness. Instead, it's about cultivating an attitude of openness and non-attachment. You'll still have thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, but you'll hold them more lightly, recognizing them as passing experiences rather than fixed truths. This approach to self-knowledge through emptiness offers a different path to personal growth. Instead of constantly striving to improve yourself or add to your knowledge, you focus on letting go and creating space. It's a path that leads to greater freedom, clarity, and authenticity. As you go forward from here, consider how you might start to incorporate this idea of emptiness into your life. Can you create moments of mental quiet in your day? Can you practice letting go of some of the labels and definitions you've given yourself? Can you approach situations with more openness and less preconceived notions? This isn't about erasing your personality or becoming a blank slate. It's about creating space for your true self to emerge. It's about seeing yourself and the world more clearly, free from the distortions of your habitual thoughts and beliefs. The journey to true self-knowledge through emptiness is both simple and profound. It doesn't require any special skills or knowledge. All it requires is a willingness to let go, to question your assumptions, and to be open to new possibilities. It's a journey that can lead to greater peace, freedom, and authenticity in your life. As you continue on this path, be patient and gentle with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, and there may be times when you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of thinking. That's okay. Each moment is a new opportunity to practice emptiness, to let go, and to see yourself and the world with fresh eyes. The beauty of this approach is that it's always available to you, no matter where you are or what you're doing. You don't need any special equipment or circumstances. You can practice it while sitting in traffic, while washing dishes, or while having a conversation with a friend. It's simply a matter of shifting your attention and loosening your grip on your thoughts and beliefs. As you practice this approach, you might find that your sense of self starts to shift. Instead of seeing yourself as a fixed entity with specific traits and characteristics, you might start to experience yourself as more fluid and open-ended. You might feel less defined by your past experiences or future goals and more present in the moment. This shift can be both liberating and a bit unsettling at first. We're so used to defining ourselves in certain ways that letting go of these definitions can feel like losing our identity. But as you continue to practice, you may find that what emerges is a more authentic sense of self, one that's not limited by your ideas about who you are or who you should be. This emptiness also creates space for growth and change. When you're not locked into a fixed idea of who you are, you're free to explore new aspects of yourself. You might discover talents or interests you never knew you had. You might find the courage to try things you've always wanted to do, but were afraid to attempt. One of the most profound effects of this practice is how it can change your relationship with your thoughts and emotions. Instead of being caught up in every passing thought or feeling, you can start to observe them with more detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, it often leads to a deeper, more authentic emotional life. When you're not identifying so strongly with your thoughts and emotions, you can experience them more fully without being overwhelmed by them. You can feel joy without clinging to it, and you can experience sadness without being consumed by it. This leads to a kind of emotional resilience that can help you navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and ease. This practice of emptiness can also have a profound effect on how you relate to others. When you're not so caught up in your own thoughts and judgments, you can listen more deeply to what others are saying. You can see beyond the surface level of their words to the deeper feelings and needs they're expressing. This deeper listening can lead to more authentic and satisfying relationships. You're able to connect with others on a more genuine level, free from the usual filters of assumptions and expectations. This doesn't mean you'll always agree with everyone or that conflicts won't arise, but when they do, you'll be better equipped to handle them with openness and compassion. As you continue on this path of emptiness, you might find that your perspective on life's challenges starts to shift. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles to be overcome, you might start to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. When you're not so attached to specific outcomes, you can approach challenges with more curiosity and less fear. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop working towards your goals. Instead, it means you can pursue your objectives with more flexibility and less attachment to the results. You can give your best effort while also being open to whatever outcome emerges. One of the most beautiful aspects of this practice is how it can deepen your appreciation for life itself. When you're not constantly caught up in your thoughts about the past or future, you can be more fully present in each moment. You might find yourself noticing details you've never seen before: the play of light on leaves, the subtle flavors in your food, the warmth of a friend's smile. This increased presence can lead to a profound sense of gratitude. Even ordinary moments can become extraordinary when you're fully present for them. You might find yourself feeling grateful for things you've always taken for granted: the air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, the simple fact of being alive. As you progress on this path, you might find that your sense of connection to the world around you deepens. As you let go of the rigid boundaries of your self-concept, you might start to feel a greater sense of unity with others and with nature. This doesn't mean losing your individuality, but rather recognizing that you're part of something larger than yourself. This sense of connection can lead to a natural compassion for others. When you recognize that everyone is dealing with their own struggles and trying to find their way, just like you, it becomes easier to respond to others with kindness and understanding, even when they behave in ways you find challenging. The goal of this practice isn't to achieve some perfect state of emptiness or to erase your personality. It's about creating space for clarity, for growth, for authentic expression. It's about loosening the grip of your habitual thoughts and beliefs so that you can experience life more directly and respond to it more freely. As you continue on this journey, be open to the changes that may occur. You might find that your priorities shift, that things that once seemed incredibly important now seem less so. You might discover new sources of meaning and fulfillment in your life. You might find yourself drawn to new activities or ways of living that align more closely with your authentic self. This journey of emptying yourself is not always easy. There may be times when it feels uncomfortable or even scary to let go of familiar ways of thinking and being. That's okay. It's a natural part of the process. The key is to approach these moments with gentleness and curiosity rather than judgment. Remember that this is a lifelong journey. There's no end point where you'll suddenly be perfectly empty and enlightened. It's an ongoing process of letting go, of creating space, of seeing yourself and the world with fresh eyes. Each moment offers a new opportunity to practice, to learn, to grow. As you move forward from here, consider how you might start to incorporate this practice of emptiness into your daily life. Could you take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts? Could you practice questioning your assumptions and beliefs? Could you experiment with letting go of some of the labels you've given yourself? You don't have to make dramatic changes all at once. Small, consistent steps can lead to profound shifts over time. Be patient with yourself and celebrate even small moments of clarity and openness. As you continue on this path, you may find that your whole relationship with life starts to shift. Instead of seeing life as a series of problems to be solved or goals to be achieved, you might start to see it as an ongoing adventure of discovery and growth. You might find more joy in the journey itself, rather than always focusing on the destination. This journey of emptying yourself is really a journey of coming home to your true self. It's about peeling away the layers of conditioning and false beliefs to reveal the authentic, vibrant being that you are at your core. It's a journey that can lead to greater peace, freedom, and fulfillment in your life. So as you go forward from here, carry with you this idea of emptiness, not as a lack or a void, but as a spaciousness that allows for new possibilities. Let it inform how you see yourself, how you relate to others, and how you engage with the world around you. And remember, in each moment, you have the opportunity to let go, to create space, and to see with fresh eyes. This is the path to true self-knowledge.